What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS, here to bring you the 5-game NBA Christmas Day DFS breakdown and a couple of money lines and prop plays, but we neither here nor there. Welcome to the channel, guys. Happy holidays to everybody. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content I do drop over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money, or if you just want to say happy holidays to me, just drop a like on the video. As you guys can see, I got put up right here the Patreon for you guys to go ahead and see. We smashed some picks yesterday. I dropped, of course, my FanDuel and my DK builder slips over here. Like I said, I've been playing alt lines over here on these sites. Find a couple plays that I do like, great matchups, and just running with it right there. And again, cash over there on FanDuel. Cash one out of the 2 slips that we had over here on DraftKings. Now, you don't have to be subscribed to the Patreon in order to get these plays. I will tell you guys that right now. It will help you if you are subscribed, because it drops on the Patreon before those lines and stuff move when it gets posted onto YouTube. As you can see, I also posted the DFS core up here onto the Patreon, along with my NBA prop plays as well for prize picks or any prop sites that you want to bet on. As you can see, 50-50 on the day. Pretty much had a couple of pushes, a couple of hooks, decent spots, good reads, but of course, can only put out what I can put out. Now, if you guys are subscribed to the channel, you are still getting some of the slips and plays that I am putting out, because as you can see on the YouTube shorts, I have been posting and I have been giving you guys my NBA or my NFL plays that I am playing on the betting slips, depending on which one I decide I want to post, whether it be DraftKings or FanDuel, but you guys are getting it right there on the YouTube shorts. That's why I tell you guys to hit the subscribe button so you can get this free content that I am still giving out, because I will still drop those on later on in the day for you guys to go ahead and get that sauce still. Hopefully you guys had a good night yesterday. Again, I told you it was a massive slate. Big slate. Huge. Now, again, we have a small slate. This is going to be one of those special ones because even though it is 5 games, it's of course spread out. You still have to pay attention to news because you can adjust your lines as the day goes on. Ownership from each game to game, that stuff plays a huge factor in the NBA Christmas Day slates and stuff. I've seen it for years since I've been playing DFS, so definitely something that you do want to pay attention to, because if you have someone that could possibly be low owned or someone who might be over owned and you think you might have the edge, you definitely can make the swap, especially if it's going to help you be able to take down that 150K2 first $25 entry over here on DraftKings. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, make sure you guys check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus. Join your boy over here on DraftKings. Now, before I even get into this breakdown, I do have to I don't want to call it a public service announcement, which, as you can see, I got presents in the background, was rapping and decided to take a little bit of a break so I can go ahead and get this breakdown and stuff out here to you guys, since I do have a little bit of time. But the NBA, several things. First things first, this NBA Christmas Day schedule is shit. Why are we watching the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets again after we just watched them yesterday play on Christmas Day? That is stupid. That is beyond stupid. That is just completely just dumb as shit. Next thing, the Lakers, the fact that they still, the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors still getting NBA Christmas Day games, even though you got up-and-coming games, up-and-coming teams that definitely deserve the spotlight. Yes, I'm talking about my Oklahoma City Thunder, over the Lakers, over the Golden State Warriors, and even over the fucking San Antonio Spurs. Why the hell are they getting a game? Just because you want to shove Wemby down our throat. Just because you want us to look at Victor Wembanyama. The Philadelphia 76ers haven't been shit all season. Embiid can't stay healthy nor keep himself inside of a game right now. This is just, honestly, you wonder why your ratings are falling. And yes, part of it, I really do feel like it has to do with the refs. The refs kind of really just, the game isn't enjoyable to watch sometimes, because when momentum is going, the refs sometimes, they kill it with that whistle. They really do. And prime example of that was like last night in Philly going up against the Spurs. Wemby flopped several times in that game, and yet you wonder why Philly was getting upset. Now, I will say Embiid was wrong for what he did, sitting there charging at the ref, male or female, doesn't matter. You were still charging at him. You were still berating him. You're a big fucking dude. I don't care if you want to come at me talking about the size difference or if you're scared about this. No, I mean, someone's charging at you, literally berating you and shit like that. Yes, it's okay to be upset. Yes, it's all right. But when you're actually like still physically coming at them with that, that's where a line is going to be drawn. It doesn't matter who you are or what profession you're in. Either way, it is what it is. Now, I will admit he did have a reason to be upset. He didn't have to go that far in regards to it, but Wemby was flopping left and right out there, and that's crazy. You're as big as you are, literally just oh, let me fall. Ridiculous. Now, outside of that, Philly, they wouldn't have they handled the business. Good job, but they're gonna get smacked up by Boston. Like that's just an easy day right there. If I'm taking money lines, I'll go ahead and give you guys money lines right now for this whole thing because I will be placing money lines for tomorrow. New York Knicks versus San Antonio Spurs. Knicks, I'll even take the Knicks spread in that. Dallas versus Minnesota. That's one I will be shaking on. I'll actually take plus maybe 10 to 15 on Minnesota that they will actually be able to keep this close. But at the end of the day, I do believe Dallas, with Luka being back and them having all their players and everything good to go, some chemistry issues and stuff going on right now with Minnesota and the defense that Dallas can play, I'll give it to Dallas over Minnesota anyway. Boston versus Philly, I've already said that. That's Boston all day. This one right here, the Lakers versus Golden State. Golden State looks like shit. Lakers still trying to figure it out. Two shit teams going up against each other. I'll take maybe Lakers plus 5, plus 10, something like that in that realm right there. Because right now, I kind of can't trust the Warriors fully. I understand, yes, they still have Steph Curry, but they still have Steph Curry. That's it. Podemensky, cool. Kuminga. Don't know what I'm going to get from night in, night out. Dennis Schroeder still trying to figure it out on a new team. Draymond Green, he's not an offensive threat. He's a liability at the end of the day. Either way, Looney, honestly, Warriors got to figure that shit out quick. Or you might want to just go ahead and get as much as you can for Steph Curry before it is way too late. And then last but not least, Denver Nuggets versus the Phoenix Suns. If Jamal Murray is good to go, I can give it to definitely the Denver Nuggets. But if Jamal Murray is still going to be out, that's definitely one that I could see Phoenix actually upsetting here in that one, but I would tip my hat currently right now as it stands to Denver. There's no injury report or anything. I haven't been able to find anything for injuries and stuff for tomorrow, but going ahead and getting right into the actual breakdown. Sorry about that. I did stand on my soapbox for a little bit. If you guys made it through that, thank you. Anyway, San Antonio Spurs taking the New York Knicks, which is just should be a laughable of game, but there are some decent spots that we can attack. And I will say both big men, yes, they're in contention. Hopefully Towns can keep himself out of foul trouble. Wemby, he has been playing very well over his last several games, 10-6, pretty high-ish price tag to me, especially with some of the other players that we do have on the slate. Definitely want to look at maybe some Tatums, look at Luka, Kyrie, things like that in some of these later games and whatnot. But if you do want to plant your flag and hope that the coming out party that the NBA wants Wemby to have and that he actually does that here in this spot, he's dropped 59.75, 66, 70, 56, 52, 50 as far as the eyes can see in the last 5. Looks really good. Now you are going up against a tough Knicks defense. Wemby is going to have to be able to keep this game close. Don't mind playing him as a possible play, but I will say I see more value in some of the auxiliary pieces, not the Karl-Anthony Towns, not the Jalen Brunson, sprinkle of the Josh Hart, but more of the Mikal Bridges, the OG Anunoby, who have been playing pretty decent ball over their last several games. OG, 48, 32, 25, 16, 30. Mixing pot of what we can get, but the last 2 games, he's very much in form. Yes, one of those games was going up against his former team in the Toronto Raptors. Either way, OG out there playing defense the way that he can play defense, rebounding, getting those assists, and also if he is knocking down the shots, I will take that all day. Mikal Bridges, the same thing. He's out there. He's going to play a hell of a lot of minutes. Tibbs run this man into the ground, night in and night out basis. 41 minutes in the last game, 24.25 fantasy points, 25, 48, 23, 28. The ultimate GPP play right here is Mikal Bridges. I highly doubt anyone's going to want to click on that name at all whatsoever tomorrow because look at what he's giving him at 6K price tag. He hasn't really eclipsed 30 fantasy points except for once. Really great GPP play option. I really do like the upside for him here in this spot. If we look at the last couple of Mikal, he's playing the 2 spot for them. Last couple of 2s besides Kelly Oubre Jr., who had a stinker of a game, 19 fantasy points. Shaden Sharp went out there and dropped 31 fantasy points. Anthony Edwards dropped 36. CJ McCollum dropped 32. Malik Monk dropped 42. Ayo Dosunmu for the Chicago Bulls dropped 67 fantasy points going up against Spurs. So if Mikal Bridges can knock down the shot, is actually peppering it from 3, things like that, I do think the upside could be there for him. I will say between him and OG, I love both of these guys honestly equally. This does seem like one of those spots where we can see Josh Hart play a full 40 plus minutes out there and just do what he does in regards to just being that driving force on the defensive side. I really do like the upside. Now, on the Spurs side, I will say no one really piques my interest besides Wemby. Chris Paul, sprinkle of it, but not too much. Whoever comes in for Harrison Barnes is going to be the one that I want to look at, whether that be Champagnie, who I don't believe that he's in the starting lineup. Champagnie, Vassell, those guys will be the ones I want to look at coming off the bench for them, just because Harrison Barnes, those minutes have been ticking down, and minutes for some of the guys off the bench have been ticking up. So that'll be the only spot I really want to look to from the San Antonio Spurs side. Going over to the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Honestly, I don't even have to touch on it when it comes down to it. Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, both those guys, we're going to be looking at them over here from this game. If you could fit them and those are going to be your studs you want to pay up for, okay, cool. Kyrie Irving, I will say, sitting at 7,900, that price tag is going to be really kind of hard to beat, even with Luka back. Christmas Kyrie could be something different that we could see. It seems like he will at least have a safe-ish floor of around 30-ish fantasy points, 79. I really don't feel like that's bad to play for one of the studs technically in this game. I will say Julius Randle, I do feel like his matchup should be a tougher one here, going up against PJ Washington, and vice versa for PJ Washington, even though if he decides he wants to cut or things like that, he definitely could get a lax Davy Julius Randle and definitely could have a pop-off game. Very much a GPP option. I will say Rudy Gobert, though, opposing centers have been having pretty great games going up against the Dallas Mavericks. Now, Rudy is one of those, are you going to feel comfortable? You do know that he has a ceiling of 40 plus fantasy points. He can go out there and do that any given night if huge freaking if he is actually given the chance to do so. If they actually run some stuff through him, if they decide they want to give him some laws, if they don't want to just be a 3-point shooting team or getting into the mid-range and stuff like that, if he's not out there just clogging up the paint, or if they actually give him the minutes and decide that they're going to play Rudy and not Nas. Those are the questions. I do believe that they are going to need his size. The last time he did play going up against them earlier this season, he didn't do too well. He did have very much a snowflake of a game, but bounce back spot, low possible ownership, 6,200 for a starting center who should go out there and play at least close to 30 minutes. And a matchup that they will need his size, I think, is definitely someone I would want to look to. Derek Lively, it's funny how I talked so highly of him literally yesterday, and then he goes out and plays 16 minutes, 12 fantasy points. Not a damn thing. Crazy how I said that he looked as great value, and then of course just goes there and just does nothing, which surprised the living shit out of me. Now Daniel Gafford, of course, he is going to be what I would consider the ultimate GPP, because as you can see, 34, 26, 21 off the bench, not going to mind him, especially if he's going to be matched up against Nas Reed. Only thing is if they actually are pulling him out of the paint, definitely could be something. But matchup wise on the other side, offensively, definitely Lob City for him. If he gets through the free throw line, he definitely can draw some free throws. The block up side, the rebounding, all those things are going to be there. And 4,200, definitely someone I would consider and have in my player pool. Outside of that, Mike Conley would be the only other person, just because he is 4,600. He is going to play. We know he's going to play at least over 25 minutes in this game. No reason for him to be rested or anything of the sort. Anyway, I don't mind looking at Mike Conley as a cheap option for a guard play if you have to go ahead and get there. Outside of that, everyone else, I'm not really too interested. I will say, sorry, Nas Reed will be the only other person I will consider as a GPP option, just because the price tag and the fact that they actually love playing the dude. And if the three ball is falling, which we know he's going to go out there and chuck a ton of threes, he is very much a offensive pup. They are looking for a spark right now on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't mind looking towards his way as a possible play. Outside of that, everyone else, no, I'm fading Clay. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. Can't do it. Can't go to the ghost of Clay mispassed. Philly taking on the Boston Celtics. Long as Embiid is not suspended for tomorrow, which I wouldn't imagine that they would do that to him. That would be actually kind of crazy. JT was a late scratch yesterday. Kind of crazy. Been ruled out for Monday's game against the Magic. Yeah, literally after starting lineups and stuff were done, and he got out there, and the team got out there. Where was Tatum? Nowhere to be seen. No report about illness or anything like that. So if you had your corner on Tatum, I really am sorry about that. But hey, we cast that Jaylen Brown for assist though. Outside of that, Jason Tatum, I do like him in here in the spot. Not worried about Paul George or KJ Martin. If Martin is actually back and playing, I want to say Martin got injured, will not return, left foot soreness. So depending on if KJ Martin, I'm not going to be too worried about that. Between one of the two, Tatum or Brown, one of those guys is going to have a good game. They normally do, especially Christmas Day games, things like that. Tatum, as long as he's not sick, no illness or anything is following him, I do like the upside for Tatum here inside of the spot. Now Embiid going up against Porzingis, going up against Al Horford, who is marked as the Embiid stopper. I don't give a damn. Embiid coming off of a frustrating game, definitely, mask Embiid. I do like the upside. I do think that we possibly could get a good Christmas Day game from Embiid. I will say his running mate, and that's not Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, though, has the matchup. Even though we imagine Boston as a very good defensive team, they still do give it up to spot-up shooters. They still do give it up if you can actually get out in transition. They will make this into like a three-point contest between them, because Boston shoots a shit ton of threes. And one of the things that Maxey does is shoot the three ball as well. He doesn't have his running mate in the backcourt in what's that kid's name? McCain. He's out. for a while. So Tyrese Maxey, 8,400. I do like the upside. Coming off of his last game, he went out there going up against San Antonio and dropped 66 fantasy points. He's been playing very well over his last couple games, even with Embiid and Paul George in and out of the lineup. He's still been pretty decent and consistent right there. Ultimate GBP player, and definitely a smidget of a corner respecter. I will say KP, as long as he doesn't stub his toe or get himself injured, he's definitely someone you can look to. Low ownership, no one's going to want to look there at all whatsoever. I really don't even want to look there. And then the Swiss Army Knight and Derek White would be someone that else you can consider. If JT is out, then I will be looking towards Derek White's way. If JT is in, not going to really care too much about Derek White, but would have him in my back pocket if I need someone to fill in that slot and I get down right there. Deep GPP considerations would only be your Peyton Pritchard off the bench, your Sam Hauser, Al Horford, things like that, but no one that you have to force in or that you got to focus into over here on the team. Los Angeles Fakers taking on the Golden State Warriors. I will say from the Lakers, literally Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Austin Reeves. That's it. That's where it starts. That's where it ends. I don't give a damn about anyone else on this team. Nowhere near anyone else on this team. I don't give a shit. I don't even know who else is on this team. It's just Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves. That is the team. That is all that they have over here. The Lakers are so fucking bad, bro. Speaking of bad, just even looking at the Golden State Warriors, they're just as bad. And I don't like either one of these teams. I'm sorry. And just to be fair, but I will say there is a merit to something that you can do on the day. If you believe that LeBron James and wrong person, chill the fuck out. If you believe that LeBron James and Steph Curry can come out here and give us a vintage performance for the ages. Now, both of these guys, they played very well going up against each other's opposing teams over the last year. Definitely, I want to say both of them have at least 50 plus fantasy points in their games going against each other. If you believe that we can get a vintage performance between both of these guys, I love the idea of taking both studs in this game and these be your primary studs, because that's the thing you have to do on a Christmas Day slate. You have to plant your flag on who is my stud. Who are my 2 to 3 studs that I am going to fit and play in my lineup and fuck everything else and just get the role players from these other games. My light just fell. That is exactly what you have to do in this game. Like, no cap. Like, you have to figure that out for this. I will say Steph Curry and LeBron James again. That I think that is a really good stack that you can definitely run for the day. Definitely would be something I would consider and look to for this. The upside is there. It really truly is. But over here on the Golden State Warriors side, again, it would just be Steph Curry. Maybe you can mess with Dennis Schroeder. Hope that he gets it popping in this game. Hasn't really panned out so far, being inside the starting lineup with them. For them, Jonathan Kuminga, he's definitely up and down in regards to what you can actually get out of him. Another play that you can consider, not something that I'm going to force or anything like that. Draymond Green, same thing. The matchup says that it's there for him. I'm just going to leave it at that. Tracy Jackson Davis, I would be surprised if they do give him the start. I would imagine maybe they might actually start Looney on KD. But if they do start Tracy Jackson Davis, I will have a little bit of interest because opposing centers have had decent success going up against a slow AD over the last several games. Now, outside of that, last game of the day, we got the Denver Nuggets taking on the Phoenix Suns. And I would be surprised if anybody is still up remotely watching anything of these games right here. Literally, like I just said, they just played yesterday. Joker went out there 30 minutes, dropped 46 fantasy points. The only difference in that game was the fact that Jamal Murray, he did not play in that game. Devin Booker, he didn't play as well. He's listed as questionable currently. Groin out for the next 2 games, reevaluated early next week. So D-Book, their last game, 24. Yeah, no, Devin Booker's not playing on Christmas. I don't see that happening. And then ruled out Monday for his calf. Second leg of back-to-back, blah, 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 blah. He should be available, so Jamal Murray should be back. If Jamal Murray's back, I do actually like him. 7,400. He's been playing very well over his last several games. No offense and no knock to my boy Beastbrook. He's been playing well as well. But just the minutes are not as secure as what we can get for Jamal Murray. And I do love the upside for it. 7,400 Jamal Murray is very good. Now, GPP-wise, you definitely can flip the script. Look at Bradley Beal, who, again, another player that gives us a mixing pot of what he can go out there and do. And then, of course, the Slim Reaper himself, Kevin Durant, dropped 42.75 fantasy points. Typically gets up whenever he plays Westbrook on an opposing team. Another one that you can look to right there. But I will say primarily I'll be looking towards Jamal Murray. As long as he's in and he is playing, I love the upside for him. And kind of would be remiss if I don't talk about my boy Tyus Jones and Aaron Gordon. Both these guys, don't mind either one of them. Long as AG can keep himself out of foul trouble, be out there, game stays close. The upside is there for him. And then without Devin Booker being out there, Tyus, you just got to actually dish the rock right, man. That's all you got to do. Play some defense. Definitely will be a low-owned player. If you're looking between Chris Paul, Tyus Jones, Chris Paul, Tyus Jones, Chris Paul, Tyus Jones, yeah, just draw one name out of the hat. there you go right there. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. If I get the chance to put a prop video or any of my other betting stuff out, I will definitely do that. If not, it will be up on the YouTube shorts. Again, if you want all the content and you want to just support the channel, check the link down in the description below for the Patreon. It's only $5. Definitely is a big support to your boy and everything that I do over here. $5, promise you will make your money back, especially if you are following the betting slips and stuff that I'm giving out. Just the content itself. I will be posting more stuff. NBA Core, I will post that up onto the site, and then probably before lock, I will get that dropped onto the YouTube. Do not hold me to it. I will try my best to go ahead and get that up there for you guys. But without further ado, with that being said, happy holidays. Everyone, enjoy yourself. Be safe out there. Tell your loved ones you love them. Peace.